morning, everyone. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games, where we shenanigan, sob, and smooch our way through tabletop role-playing games. I'm one of your hosts, Salty.
And I'm Sweet.
And these various assorted spices are our friends. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, our long-running eldritch horror meets pulp action campaign. Before we go around and meet everyone and their characters, we have our channel shoutouts to do. Firstly, a ton of thanks to our sponsors, starting with Roll20, a virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that run straight from your web browser for free. We are part of their ambassador program, which highlights indie tabletop creators all across the interwebs. Yeah, I said it. And I'm sure the Roll20 RNGesus is going to look down upon us benevolently and smile today. I'm sure of it. Also, thanks to our sponsors, Dice Envy and Grinding Coffee Co. If you like your shiny math rocks, if you like your soaked bean energy juice, you will like these two companies. They're really great to work with. We have affiliate links and discount codes down below. What else? Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, gifted subs, followed, chatted, lurked, liked, commented on YouTube. Super appreciate it. If you would like to support us further, there are tip incentives listed down below that can seriously impact the game using bits or our Streamlabs tip jar. Just click on the panel, affect the game. It'll take you where you want to go, or exclamation tip. It is always appreciated, but never expected. Last thing, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, X and O cards, stars and wishes, and content warnings because while the characters may be put through hell or die horribly underneath the pyramids at Giza, the players are here to have fun, and they are our priority always. Without further ado, I feel like we should meet them. We'll start with Kienna.
Hello, I'm Kienna. I'm the channel. My pronouns are she and they, but today I am playing Irene Blackwell, whose pronouns are she and her. Yeah, we're just going into a pyramid. Everything's fine. There's a ritual that's about to happen that we're definitely gonna get there on time to stop for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm just vibing here.
Just vibing, yeah.
With my sketchbook and my gun, and just good vibes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Good vibes, good vibes. Great. Speaking of good vibes, Allison. We're wearing matching shirts.
We are. We're repping our people today. Hey everybody, it's Allison. I play Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist, once the archetypical woman of the age of progress and rationality, now she who surrenders to the madness to fight the madness. And you know, someone far wiser than me once said that the oldest and strangest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. And I am afraid today. I am very afraid. That's all I have to say.
Good. Thank you, Jim, for gifting those subs. Hype train commence. Whoa! And Cassiopeia just tipped $20 because rerolls. Some rerolls for everyone. So everybody gets one. And no more today. What was my segue going to be? Speaking of fear. Summer?
Hi, I was just marking down that reroll because I use them very
like
frequently.
Candy,
I'm just popping them constantly. Yeah. Hi, I'm Summer. I use she, her pronouns, and today I'm playing one Mr. Charlie Rapp who uses he, him pronouns. And he's great. Yeah. He's fantastic. He's hot. He's rich. He's got a great personality. And has never done anything wrong in his life ever. He's never made a mistake. He's never, he's such a good boy.
Great. Good.
Or have
believe it.
I made any mistake ever? I would just like to also
Yeah, we know this.
tack on to
we
that.
know this and we love
know
you.
this. Yes.
Yes. Fantastic. Let's head over last but not least to Tommy.
Hello, hi, I'm Tommy, and I play Zebulon Augustine Claiborne Montgomery III. Both use he, him. And he is the true resident good boy in the group. And he ain't doing so hot right now.
What are you talking about?
He's not doing so hot. So, oh boy, we'll see where this goes.
Oh my god. So, y'all, I told them to put their HP, sanity, and luck in the Zoom. And I'm just looking at it now. Tommy's name is just HP7. Tommy's name is just HP7 on my screen.
So it's not
He's
great.
fine. Don't heal him.
Don't
heal him.
Yeah, no. If you've got those vitamins in the form of rerolls, those would be very much appreciated.
You just got
Do
one.
need them. I got
Just
one.
be
and
grateful for what you have.
I'm looking at other people's tiers, and they've got. Trust me, I need them. If Roll20 is a cruel god to me, which it usually is, I need them if I'm gonna survive, and or healing.
No. Everybody's fine here. They're all fine. I was lying. He's got like 27 HP, so he doesn't need anything. That's what it said, 27. Also, luck is finally not a free resource. This is amazing. This is everything I've ever wanted. And coming at just the right time. It would be weird if it were months or years ago when they hit this point. Anyway, good. They've all talked. Now it's my turn. If you're joining us for the first time or the first time in a long time, this motley crew is trying to stop an apocalyptic event from occurring. Their journey started when their good friend Jackson Elias was murdered for investigating the infamous Carlisle expedition, the members of which were all formerly presumed dead. You know, it's very late in this, but I feel like a good old-timey newscaster voice would have been really good for this part. Maybe I could have made a video or something. This motley crew is trying to stop an apocalyptic event from occurring. I'm really on my shit today. Anyway. Right, global conspiracy. There are death cults. That's what they uncovered. Global conspiracy with death cults. But all these death cults worship different aspects of the same eldritch god. Many names, many forms, but all the same and to one end. This has taken the group from Peru to New York, England, Shanghai, Australia, and now to Egypt. The cults were working together to build a machine to rupture and taint the sky, but our heroes stopped that part of the plan. But it ain't that easy. The cults in Africa and perhaps elsewhere are still thriving and preparing for a great ritual on January 14th, 1926. 120 days from Wednesday, September 16th, 1925, the night before the new moon, the night of the resurrection ritual of Nitocris. Last time, after a brief tete-a-tete with Omar al-Shakti, who may or may not have cursed the Ganymede graves, the gang stole the nearest intact car to pursue the truck they assumed contained Agatha Broadmoor. After a harrowing chase led by Zebulon, Ganymede, with the assistance of Irene, jumped into the back of the truck and took out the cultists therein. When all came to a stop, though, they discovered the bound and covered figure was actually not Agatha Broadmoor, but Mahmoud. The team quickly regrouped and headed to Giza to try and find the ritual site based on the few things that James Gardner was able to tell them. Giza is currently overrun with tourists, archaeologists, and police after the disappearance of the mummy of Nitocris those months ago. So finding a secret entrance will be hard, as will actually entering the secret entrance. So the group decided to wait until nightfall and bribe the guards to gain after-hours access to the secret chamber the Clive expedition discovered all those months ago. So we are at the Mina House Hotel, which is like right on the pyramids. It's a gorgeous view. You have set Mahmoud and yourselves up for now in a very nice suite. He is living it up. He's having a great time. He's wearing like a big fluffy robe, ordering champagne and caviar all on Charles Rapp's bill. So, Salim has been out gathering what you might need for this excursion. The idea is that once Charles has finished arranging the cash for the bribe, because he actually needs to probably go to a bank or at least make a few phone calls, a few well-placed phone calls, and has arranged what you'll need for the bribe, that right now you have a chance to breathe and prepare for this evening. So currently, there is nothing to do but wait until nightfall.
Ganymede is sitting in an overstuffed chair that she's pulled over in front of a narrow table by the window that faces out to the pyramids. And she has her shotgun boarding axe broken down on the table, kind of a towel laid out under it, and it's broken down, and she's cleaning it and inspecting all of the ammunition that she has left after that little misfire incident during the car chase, just making sure that it's all set for tonight. But other than that, she's quiet for the most part, keeping to herself.
Anyone else?
I would say, because you let me keep my cards, I would say,
I'm very
that
generous.
Charlie, so generous of you.
Benevolent.
So kind and so sweet. So I would say that Charlie is probably sitting off like on the side of the bed somewhere, or like I don't know, he's just kind of off by himself and he's shuffling through his cards in that kind of like absent way he does when he's thinking. He's like so frustrated that they couldn't find Agatha, and he's just like, he's just thinking about her, and if possible, I would like to use my tarot cards to do some
divine
magic.
something?
I would like to divine. I would like to divine something.
Remind us how this
yes.
works.
I would love to. I wrote it down extensively. Okay, so using a ritual such as tarot cards, I'm able to divine the future in some fashion. Usually it centers on a specific question, such as, is there danger, blah, blah, blah. Is this person alive?
Yes,
The
I
question
remember
should
when
be
you
answerable
asked
with a yes or no.
Yes or
When
no.
I asked what?
I remember when you asked about Sir Aubrey back in England. Sorry, I got excited.
It takes 1d10 rounds. We're in downtime, but it costs me 1d6 magic points, and it requires a successful divination roll, so I have to do that first.
Okay.
My divination, not fantastic, so we'll see how this one goes. I am prepared to use a reroll on it because I'm feeling crazy today. Let's go. Failure. Success,
Hey.
motherfuckers. That's what it's about.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so-
yeah, mark that off. Roll your 1d6. I gave you some magic points back. That's great.
Thank you.
Great. For the hours that have passed. So just subtract the
Well,
1 from that.
I did.
Great.
And I have to ask a yes or no question. I want it to be about Agatha, but I don't know what is a good yes or no question here, because you want to get the most information that you can out of it. I'm gonna say that's a really great question, Ali. It's really great. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna ask that. I'm gonna say my question is Agatha crucial / necessary to the upcoming ritual?
Yes.
Great. So great.
Do you have an idea of what card Charlie pulled to let him know that? Just for fun.
Ooh, I'm kind of thinking like maybe Empress could be interesting. Maybe like an inverted Empress. Usually the Empress card is like really like signifies like feminine nature and like beauty and like a bunch of other stuff. But the inverted can represent like a block in creativity or like dependence. Like dependence is like a big one that it can represent. So I think that like as he's like shuffling and he just like is kind of thinking about her, he just like pulls it and it's like the inverted Empress. I'll see if I can find it out of my cards. It's a beautiful card. But yeah, and he just kind of is like, he looks at it for like 2 minutes without saying anything, and then he just shuffles it back into the deck.
Nice.
And keeps going. Imagine it was on top somehow. No, the world is on top. Sad.
What's Zeb up to?
Zeb took a shower,
Nice.
bandaged up any of his worst wounds, and is now taking a nap.
Beautiful.
He has had a very long day. He is a little banged up, and he needs a little rest.
Excellent.
But yeah, he's like passed out in like an armchair.
So I think at this point, Irene, where are you in the room?
I think probably opposite of Ganymede. So like if Ganymede's like at the table on the chair, like she's on the other end of it, has her sketchbook out and she's flipping through all of the notes again, and just as she does when she's having a moment of being like, have I missed anything? Is there anything here? Just going back and forth between all the drawings that she has seen in real life and look at that card. That she has seen all these like things that first came as dreams and visions and descriptions, and then she saw with her own eyes, and this whole mess.
I think Mahmoud has gotten a cigar from somewhere. Probably ordered one up. He's having a great time. Did he formally... Did Charlie and Mahmoud like formally introduce themselves? I don't remember.
We did a very quick introduction. Like, I think Zeb was like, hey, so...
Yeah. He's with us.
Yeah.
Charlie's like, I'm disappointed in who you are.
So I think Mahmoud is like lounging right on the big bed. And he says, you all are quieter than usual. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of us had passed out on the chair.
Yeah, I think Charlie doesn't even look up. It's like nobody spoke, basically.
Yeah. I think Mahmoud mutters, I miss Ava.
Oh, buddy.
I'm guessing Salim kind of filled him in when they got here a bit. But I think at this point, Salim has returned and is kind of packing up what he thinks, you might need. That he's gotten for you. I think there's rope. I think there's like lamps as opposed to flashlights. And things like that. But he kind of like pokes his head in from like maybe the hall from whatever he's doing. You all do seem quieter.
Well, we're all resting up. We've had a long few days, and tonight will also be very long.
Yes, good to save your strength.
The vibes are so bad right now.
The vibes are off.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of lost. We lost that one, right? And we don't lose many. So I think we're just kind of,
We're bummed
especially
out.
with high stakes. Yeah, with higher stakes like this, I think Ganymede's mad, right? She's just angry. She's thinking a lot about Omar al-Shakti and what she's going to do to him when she sees him next time.
Hell hath no fury like a Ganymede that's been scorned.
Yeah, I think Charlie would kind of, I imagine he's been kind of like hunched over, like shuffling his cards. He'll sit up a bit and kind of stretch his back and turn to look at everybody. Should we talk about tonight?
I suppose it's a good idea for all of us to be informed about what we're doing. No surprises.
I think Celine may hear some. Ducks back into the hall.
I suppose we should
Leave.
talk about something if y'all are gonna keep talking. Because that like cracks one eye open.
Yeah. Sorry to wake you up.
That's fine. We need to talk about this at some point. Like straightens up.
Yes. Well, we're going in with precious little intelligence as to what to expect, much less than usual. I don't like it, but here we are.
Well, we've stumbled our way in and out of a fair many traps, and we've been all right. This is that on a little bit of a larger scale, I would assume.
Though us getting out of that last one was not us getting out on our own volition. We were spared. I don't think if that Black Pharaoh had really wanted us dead, I don't think there was nothing none of us could have done to stop him. What if we find something like that here? What's our plan?
Well, ideally not die.
Yes, thank you for pointing out the obvious, Charles.
I wish it were clearer precisely what it is they're seeking to accomplish beyond the resurrection of this Nitocris. We're not even certain what role she plays in their plans.
Wasn't
Perhaps all of this is unwise. Perhaps we should leave this place, focus on creating the seals and places in the map that we saw inside the pyramid. If we've created enough of them, we've surely prevented his return, yes? She just shakes her head because she knows she doesn't really know the answer to that question.
It's hard to say. We've obviously been a sizable thorn in their side, but that's been everywhere else. Here they seem separated from the rest of the other cults, more established, more prepared. And whatever they're going to do, I don't know if... Well, I don't know if this is connected to what we've already dealt with or not, the same way.
Usually, Ganymede, I might agree with you and say, we don't have to stop them all, but I do have to stay for this one. I mean, that's where Agatha is going to be.
Ganymede. I don't think she even turns to look at you. In fact, I think her back is still to you. But she says, I don't understand why, Charles. You didn't feel compelled to stay for the last one.
No response.
Was there anything that you learned on your little solo adventure, Charles? Anything that could help?
Yeah, Charlie hasn't really told you guys about what happened.
Zeb started that sentence with a big sigh, by the way. Just like,
no, actually, I didn't learn a whole lot. I, essentially woke up in a room with Omar. There was tea, which I drank. It was poisoned. Or it was a poison.
It's drugged.
It was kind of a poison, Lauren. I don't know. I passed out pretty shortly after. I only woke up a few times when they were transporting me, but they took me somewhere. I would assume it would be a pyramid or some other ancient structure. I could hear Agatha. She was familiar with my presence, could tell that I was in the area. I was actually quite close to her at the time, so I would assume somewhere near the expedition site. As they took me deeper in, there was a chamber. There was a tomb that was kind of raised up, like a sarcophagus. And once I got in the room, I couldn't hear Agatha anymore. There was some kind of protective wall. And there was a massive pit. Just a hole in the ground. And, eventually they pushed me into it. And that's where Zara was, in the hole. But it wasn't a normal pit that you would find. The entirety of the time that I was away from you, I was in that hole falling. It felt I was falling up until the very moment that I was rejoined with all of you. It's a very strange kind of prison where time doesn't really pass. I didn't sleep that I can remember. Didn't eat or drink. It was just a black void. Since we've been here, I've tried to sense Agatha, but if she's there, then I have a feeling it would be impossible to get any message through. I'm not sure how they would retrieve somebody from that kind of falling nightmare, but there must be a way. They're not being kept for no reason. But that's all I remember. Did I miss anything, Lauren? Anything major?
Zara was there. You held hands.
Yeah, I said that. Oh, I feel like that's not necessary to the story. Thank you, though, for including that.
Well, then I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we have much of a plan going into this. This may be one where we are making it up as we go.
Our aim, at least, is clear. To disrupt the ritual and by any means necessary.
They need Agatha for the ritual. She's necessary in some way. I don't know what way that is. But if we can retrieve her, the entire thing would be disrupted.
And I suppose that's our main goal. Find Agatha and get her out of there.
I will remind Ganymede Graves about the crown.
Yes.
Since you don't have Ava here to.
Right. And I think we'd shared that with Irene and Zeb. But we'll make mention of that to the group as well, that we know we know how to destroy the crown, which would also be sufficient to prevent the ritual. And that reminds me, there is eldritch magic associated with that I think takes some time for me, doesn't it?
Yes. The enchant living flame spell that you have.
Yes.
That Mushian taught you.
Yes, which takes 6 hours. 6 hours to cast.
Gun work as well?
The lightning gun
Yes.
will work, they discovered.
So,
But you only have one lightning gun now.
casting the spell will require time, which means we'd need to make off with the crown.
Well, interesting. Let me pull up your character sheet here. Let me give that spell a look-see. It's a variant of another spell, so I think you have the masks version. Enchantment of the Living Flame. So, You could do this ahead of time, is the thing. It will... And carry it. It says an iron torch.
Yes.
I would let you
Would you?
have a lantern.
I was thinking about the axe head.
You want to light your gun's axe head on fire?
Surely
was-
that's going to make the gun less effective.
That might be the case. Now that
We need those double barrels, Ganymede.
yes, indeed. Indeed. All right. Yes. So, do we have 6 hours? It depends on how.
Yes. I mean, you can't imagine that this... First of all, it must be a lengthy process. They usually are, right? It will probably happen in the dead of night as opposed to right after sunset. I mean,
Yes.
it's up to you to kind of like, is it worth it to invest the time so that you have 2 ways of doing this? Because if you go in there with just one way, then you just have one way.
Right. Yes, I think it is probably worth it. And so I will step into one of the rooms, one of the side rooms of this suite, and begin the process of casting this spell. And this is my first.
It is a first cast.
Yes.
Remember, you are strong-willed.
Yes. So, a regular success, a hard success.
That's what you needed. So you are going to be able to successfully cast this. It will be 6 magic points.
All right.
And 1d6 sanity points. As you are
Yay.
kind of praying, I mean, in a way, the process of this spell that Mushian taught you, the symbol is this kind of smiling flame that you trace. Okay.
There's 4 sanity.
You can buy off sanity with luck if you wish.
I don't.
Okay. Oh. Okay, you don't want to?
No.
Okay.
And how many? And you said 6 magic points?
Yeah, it's 6.
Okay.
Let me get out of your sheet.
There we go.
You will likely get 1 or 2 back, before you actually arrive, but just for now.
Magic points,
Yeah. So Ganymede is doing that for 6 hours.
It sounds awful.
Yes.
Right? You've heard her use these ancient languages before to cast, and it's always a bit chilling. But now it is repeated over and over, and the volume rises and falls, and after a while it doesn't even sound like her. It sounds strange and alien.
I think Zeb, watches from like the doorway, because I think he's, keeping an eye out on Ganymede.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's definitely a bit torn in this moment because he doesn't exactly want Ganymede delving too deep into this, and this feels like a pretty deep dive. But you know, after seeing what Neferin Ka could do, right? Neferin Ka was the Black Pharaoh, right?
Mhm.
Yes, that's right. Make sure I got that all right. Zeb's a, you know, there has been Zeb being scared just because of most of it was dealing with the unknown, right? And the fear that comes with that. Zeb is scared right now because he doesn't know if we can if the group can deal with it. So I think that's probably the only thing stopping him from Ganymede from doing this. Is that right now Zeb's like, we need whatever advantage we can get in this moment. But he's gonna watch over Ganymede in this moment and make sure she's okay.
While that happens, Irene and Charles, you are alone together. What's that like? I think Mahmoud is like fell asleep at some point, and Salim is refusing to be
Salim
aware.
would be smart.
Yeah, Salim is not here. Salim's going get, coffee.
Out to the lobby.
Yeah, making sure you have, food. Last time you
I
were
feel
gone
like
for
I'm-
3 days, so
Yeah. Salim's like, I'm gonna go for a walk
yeah, just a little walk.
and just, I'll
Yeah.
be back.
So you're alone.
Yeah,
Great.
I think Charlie would have been like, Zeb, if she needs anything, tell me, because I think it doesn't. I don't even know if it does. It doesn't even bother Charlie really. Like
No, he certainly hasn't seen. It's obviously evolved from the last time you were together.
I saw it. Yeah, but I think there's still. It's like. Obviously this is like I feel like it's just a thing that he could sense, right? Like it's just it's an aura shift from the last time he saw Ganymede to now, where he's like, oh, she's deeper in this shit than she was last time I saw her.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not surprising, I think, to him. His concern is like, I think making sure that Ganny knows that she has people to ground her, people and things to ground her.
Mm-hmm.
Does Ganny have any like sentimental letters or items that she keeps?
Yeah, I think she has photos of both John Craig and Annabelle Claiborne Montgomery that whenever we've set up in a place, they're always close by.
I think Charlie makes sure, he sets them up, props them up to make sure that she can see them. I don't think he mentions it or anything, but he's like, this is the tether that's going to bring Ganymede back when the spell is over. So he just kind of sets those up and would give her shoulder a little squeeze as she was getting set up, and then just would be like, she needs anything, Zeb, holla at me, But yeah, otherwise we'll give her space.
Irene is probably sitting and she is not acknowledging Charlie at all. She is.
Yikes.
She is in her sketchbook. I think she's doodling at this point. I think she's just doing charcoal sketches of objects in the room, just being keeping her hands busy. But she is very pointedly not looking at Charlie, not acknowledging his existence.
I think Charlie will I think he'll just he won't bother her for maybe an hour. Because we got 6 of them that Ganymede's working. So I think, yeah, probably like an hour or so. He doesn't say anything. I think he's like waiting to see. Like he's giving himself he's not giving like Irene the benefit of the doubt. He's like, I know she's mad at me, but she can't be that mad at me, right? Like, and is waiting just to see like maybe she really is just like involved with her sketchbook. He knows that the vibes are off. He's just telling himself a sweet little lie to get through that first hour. I think he's kind of sitting like not fully across the room, right? Like probably like half of the room away, so that it would so it'd be like normal talking distance. Yeah, but eventually he's gonna have to say something. So are you just going to ignore me for the rest of today or for the rest of the week? Or is this a more long-term punishment?
I guess that depends on whether you leave today or this week or in the longer term.
He just kind of nods. I hope that you could eventually understand that it didn't really feel much like a choice. I didn't know how long I would be gone, and yes, it was stupid to not think that the deal that I took would ever possibly work out in my favor. But I made a promise, and it was my chance to keep it. And I understand if that's not enough of a reason. But it wasn't my intention to abandon all of you.
I think at this point, Irene's like hand stops. Like throughout this time, she had just continued drawing, and now it finally stops mid-stroke. And so the promise that you would be here with us, keeping us all together, making sure that we wouldn't endanger ourselves any further than we had to, that was deprioritized.
I knew that you would all be safe together, but she is alone. There is no one coming to save her but me. I am fortunate enough that I have all of you to give a shit about what happens to me. She doesn't have anyone else, Irene. It's just me. It doesn't mean that I don't care about all of you.
You know, we could have. You're always telling me that I shouldn't go off and do stuff on my own. Rely on you, everyone else. Why couldn't you have done the same with us? Sure, we don't. So I do not have many kind words about Zara after what has happened. But if you had believed that strongly, couldn't you have trusted us to tell us and have us talk us through?
I wasn't exactly given that option, Irene.
What do you mean you weren't?
It was a yes or no. It was a go right now and know where she is, or don't ever fucking find out. I've been trying to figure out where she's being held for weeks. With nothing, because that pit is nothing. There is nothing there. If it's not enough, it's not enough. If you can't forgive me, you can't forgive me. But I hope that you do.
I just don't want to be left questioning when you'll leave us. I don't want to think about the next days. I wonder why you'll just disappear. I've I spent so long being isolated and alone, and then you were the one that was there for me. And you've always been the one there for me. And then you left. And I don't know if I can trust you to be there anymore.
Charlie gets up from where he's sitting and he crosses over to Irene and like kneels down on both his knees by her where she's sitting. And reaches up to take her hand.
Yeah, I don't think she moves.
I won't make you any promises that I can't keep. I can't say that we won't ever be separated. Or that I won't try and save her, because I will. But I can promise you, Irene, that I will always come back to you. I would follow you anywhere. And when all of this is over, I want to be with you. I don't have a home or a life outside of the one that I have with you. And I don't know what that means. But if you want me around, then I'll be here. I'll never leave you for good.
It's silly, despite it all. Whatever happens at the end of this all, I want to be with you. I just, don't want to be left waiting.
I understand. I do.
I think it's that moment that Irene finally, like, squeezes his hand back. You know, I had a funny conversation with Zebulon while you were gone. Spent a lot of time wondering why I was so angry that you left. Not the first time. I care about you, Charlie. I'm sure you know that.
I do.
And I suppose along the way I have grown to expect you here with me. And maybe that has grown into something else too. And I'm not just scared or hurt or angry or worried because I care about you. It's because I love you. And it's funny that it's taken this long to realize that.
I think Charlie's just like staring at Irene like in this kind of like stunned silence. Where he's just like not moving and like basically not breathing. Then he just kind of laughs a little bit. Like this kind of like like almost like a relieved laugh. Irene, I've been in love with you since we met. And your life was so complicated and you were already facing so many external pressures. I could never expect anything of you. I didn't want to be that. And so I'm Can I kiss you?
I think that she just nods.
Yeah. Yeah, he kisses her.
Meanwhile, like, Jeb is maybe like, he's at the edge of the room.
Not looking,
Watching
not
over
looking.
Kienna.
Just like- no, yeah, Zeb's just like, dear God, finally. Oh my God. Just, sweet baby Jesus.
Good. 6 hours later. Fantastic. The iron lantern, without you adding any kindling or oil to it, the inside fills with flame that almost seems to dance. You can see faces in it at some points, you think.
I imagine that there is it's almost like what you would expect to see, but there are these kind of dark tendrils of black, maybe even a little purple sometimes, and the faces kind of dance up into those and then they vanish. And upon finishing, it's like, I don't know, it's like a huge burden that is lifted off of her shoulders. I don't know if it's just the euphoria of having done it and done it correctly, the curiosity of the whole thing, or something else, something less kind. But as she kind of emerges, how do we find Charlie and Irene?
I think they're probably like sitting next to each other, just doing their own shit, but like holding hands across the chairs that they're sitting.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, definitely agree. They're not like making out or anything, Allie.
There's a child asleep.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they're just like sitting next to each other and just holding hands.
Celine
and just
came
doing-
back awkwardly at one point.
Oh, Celine!
Yeah,
And
totally.
immediately left. Like,
Totally. I love it. Yeah, it must be dark at this point,
Yes, yes. Salim tells you that he has successfully made the bribe. And you can go in. Actually, I need a luck roll from someone.
Not
Anyone?
me.
I mean, mine is terrible, folks.
I got pretty good luck
I
and so
can do
does
that.
Phil.
I have the highest luck, weirdly enough.
Go for it.
Some of us need it more.
Oh,
Oh!
that's good. That's good. And then I could use Salim's, but does anybody want to give me a charm, fast talk, or persuade?
Oh my god, I'm good at some of those stuffs. Charm, fast talk, or persuade. I think I get bonus on charm rolls.
You do. As if
But my
you
fast
forget.
talk is better.
And for some things, it's good to have Charles back. For some things.
Okay. I'm actually gonna hit it with a fast talk because my fast talk is significantly better.
Do it. I like to see that.
Uh,
Would you like
I'll
to
use a
use
reroll.
4 luck?
4 luck? Oh yeah, I'll use 4 luck. That sounds fine.
Okay, a regular success. So the time of you going in is like midway, like it's well after sunset. It's got to be when people are not here. But it is before midnight or anything like that. So I feel okay. I mean, it's what you got. It's what you got to work with. You know what I'm saying? So the pyramid. Built for the pharaoh Mycerinus, Cheops' grandson, this is the least impressive of the Great Pyramids at Giza. It has a large vertical scar on its north face, caused when the son of the legendary warlord Saladin tried to destroy the monumental structure at the end of the 12th century. There are many rumors as to why he attempted this, and why he gave up 8 months later. The record books remain strangely silent on the topic. Unsurprisingly, the secret chamber the Clive expedition unearthed has been hastily added to the cheap hand-drawn maps available from various hawkers outside, so it is not difficult for your group under the cover of night to locate. There are a series of small antechambers that precede the actual burial chamber. There is your lantern, any other light sources you have, because the torches inside have, of course, been extinguished for the night. This, somewhere in here, is where James Gardner seemed to think there was a secret entrance.
Yes, we are looking for a secret entrance.
Give me some spot hiddens. I know Ganymede has the living flame. What are your other sources of light? Salim would have gotten you anything reasonable.
Probably some lanterns of some form, just like.
lanterns.
Lanterns sound great. Regular success. Regular success. Hard success.
Oh wait, and
Hard
okay,
success. And Charlie with your ridiculous spot hidden. Regular success. Irene. It does take you a while. It is very dark here, and you only have your sources of light. The entire area is shrouded in darkness. But you are the one with your lantern to find it, not in the burial chamber itself, but in a nearby antechamber. A sliding panel. You think you can find a stone that stands out, and when you give it just a little pressure, the wall slides open. And there, on the inside, kind of carved into this inner stone, you see glyphs, runes like you saw in the bent pyramid chamber. If Charlie and Ganymede want to give me a Cthulhu Mythos roll, you may.
I do.
Okay. It's dark here and you don't really have time to dig into it. But you recognize it for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And where does this, do we have any sense of where it's leading other than into darkness?
Down, down, down into the deep.
Yes. Nice work, Irene.
Well, let's see what's down there.
This
Yes.
seems like the ultimate creepy basement.
Am I able to pass the lantern with the enchanted flame to anyone else, or do I have to carry it
No,
myself?
you can give it to anybody.
Okay. I say to, I think to Charlie, I think I say, would help if I had both hands. For she's kind of got the shotgun in one hand, so she'll pass it off to you if you're willing to take it.
Yeah, Charlie will take it.
Yeah. And she'll just hold your eyes for a moment as you take it, and then turn back down into darkness, and I think Ganymede will take the lead.
Yeah, I'll follow after.
I think Zeb will bring up the rear then, with the sword out.
Got it. You
Poke anyone who sneaks up on us.
I imagine that we're trying to be as quiet as we can.
Yeah,
Sure.
Why not? Why not?
good for you.
Would you like us to roll?
No,
No. Okay.
there's no need.
No one suspects us coming, so it's
Sure.
unnecessary.
Who would ever think? that
Okay.
we'd
Who would
be
ever think that
here?
we would be
That
here?
we'd show up, right? What a good point.
You walk down. Far below the earth, the silence is ceaseless and oppressive. Above is a terrible weight of suspended stone and earth. As you enter this tunnel, occasional drafts pass along, causing any exposed flame to gutter momentarily, except for the living flame. This tunnel that you enter is about 8 feet wide. Seems decently well maintained. It's hewn stone, obviously man-made. The floor here is generally level. There is no light except for the familiar glow, Charles, of green. Often you see branching tunnels, mostly smaller. As you move through with the light, as you get deeper, loathsome images panel the walls, depicting men with the heads of animals, animals with human limbs, and unidentifiable entities performing cruel, disgusting, and obscene activities. Ganymede, roll a d10 for me.
7.
You think, as you're passing by one of these offshoots, maybe it's a shadow, but something moves, some shapeless thing, and you recall the underground city in Australia, that whistling. You're not sure if it's just the wind passing through.
I stop us for just a moment. Hold the light out, or I guess I don't have the light anymore. But I think I point in that direction silently.
Yeah. I'll follow Ganny's, like, gesture. Move the light around. Down the offshoot.
You don't see anything.
I'll just kind of shrug to Ganny a little bit.
And I'll start moving again.
Staying on the large tunnel that you're in.
I think so for now.
Okay. Zeb, you're in the back. Why don't you roll me a d10?
Oh, do I have to?
Yes.
Six.
Another one of these offshoots. As you're passing by, a violent blast of wind blows out and extinguishes your light source, even though it's shielded. But it doesn't sound like wind, it sounds like someone exhaling into your ear.
Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Relight my lamp. I hate basements. I swear to God, when we're done with this, I don't want to ever see another godforsaken basement in my life.
Irene, why don't you roll a d10? Everyone... No, just Irene. Give me a luck roll here. Nice. You... Oh no, just Irene.
Sorry. Let me sit everyone.
I did it first. Irene, as you move through, you lose your footing for a bit, and you almost fall to your hands and knees. But you don't. You manage to put one hand out along the wall. But when you pull it back, it's coated in that green slime or moss. And do you see kind of the area where you've scraped? You see a carving. Worship of the Black Pharaoh. Charles, roll a d10.
Sure, I'd love to. 8.
As you're moving through all this time, whether you've said something or not, you hear these low sounds, chuckles, growls, groans, heard in the blackness. Sometimes just very, very low and singular. Sometimes like a cacophony of sound, brief. Nobody else seems to notice. And at some point at your feet, when you look down, bordering the tunnel floor, you see jet black roses that you've seen before.
I'm gonna pick one up.
Okay. You lose 2 hit points as it cuts into your hand. Not like any thorn you've ever pricked yourself on before.
Yep.
Everyone make me a sanity check.
Okay, Ganny.
Ganymede and Zebulon
Newly confessed love saved us. I would like to just point that out.
lose 1 sanity.
Yes.
You can buy it. Well. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to do. And you walk.
Definitely like keeping my ears open for anything we may hear.
Oh, sure. Why don't you make me a listen check?
Only Ava was here. Her listening was so good.
It'll be one of those days, huh? Real 20.
Looking like it.
Seb, you have the lowest luck, right?
Maybe.
As you're kind of, positioning yourself, trying to listen back the way you came, you do hear something. It's subtle, though, like the sound of someone swallowing. And when you look around, it looks like the walls of the tunnel are moving in and out like bronchial tubes in the lungs. I need you to make another sanity check.
This place is the worst. Roll 20, please.
4 points of sanity.
Good.
Can I do something?
What would you like to do?
Can I use my medium powers to potentially communicate with spirits and or alien presences.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I love doing things like this, Lauren. You know me. I would love to. So basically, I can roll medium skill, and if I'm successful, basically I open up my mind to allow the spirit to communicate with me. They can talk through my mouth, or it can manifest as words or phrases, or I can see them, whatever. A malevolent presence could hijack the situation with an opposed power roll. If failed, it can communicate. It can use my body for up to 1d10 rounds before I fall unconscious or the entity is thrown off.
What are you trying to achieve?
I heard whispering. Something's here. And if nobody else seems to
Okay.
be hearing it, I'm assuming something. I mean, we're in a tomb, for fuck's sake, you know? Dead things are here. I'm trying to. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm trying to sense Agatha.
Right. Okay.
That's like the goal, but
Right.
I love the idea of like other spirits and alien presences talking to me. So I'm gonna roll medium rolls. We'll see how I do. I'm
Okay.
pretty good at it. I'd like to say hard success.
Great. Roll how many magic points it takes you.
Well, I'm out of magic and to lose a hit point.
You
so-
would have gotten, I'm going to say
Two
two
back?
back at this point.
Okay, then I'll have one magic point left.
Okay.
And I had those 2 back for myself as well.
Yes, of course.
So what do I sense anything?
So many. The amount of tortured souls here has been building for thousands upon thousands and thousands of years. It is cacophonous. It's impossible to pick one out, but Agatha does not number among them. With that hard success, she is not dead.
Yeah, I imagine that Irene, being right behind Charlie as we're walking, would see him, because he's holding the iron torch with one hand. You would see kind of like his other hand just kind of like fold out, like it's like he's like walking with his hand like out facing kind of the walls, which you would recognize as like that's kind of how he opens himself up to communication. And like a split second later, he like basically trips, right? Like he stumbles, and almost like like ducks a little bit, like as though he'd heard like a gunshot go off behind him, because that's how loud I think like this is.
Yeah.
That he has a physical reaction, like dodging the sound, right? But quickly, like I imagine like his back is like really tense. But he would kind of straighten himself up again, and he just like cracks his neck, and will keep walking forward, as he's like parsing through, trying to find where Agatha could be, but not sensing her. It's like basically trying to mentally create a sound barrier as he's like closing that back off. Although I think once he kind of opens himself up to it, it's never gone, right? Like he can tune it out so it's like club music coming through the floor, right? Where it's like muffled, but it's still there. He can still hear the sound. It's just not as deafening as it was when it first hit. But yeah.
You all walk and walk. It's much like being in the underground city in Australia. It's impossible to tell how long you walk. But eventually you hear a thrum of voices. Drums. chanting, and you are getting close.
Man, I really wish we had some convenient cultist robes with us.
I feel like that would not be helpful here.
I feel like it would. Might give us a few more seconds to blend in.
To be fair, Charlie has never seen the cultist robes work, so.
This man, he disappeared.
I missed it. I missed the cultist robes in
He
action.
disappears and he comes back like, I don't think that's gonna work.
I don't think that's
They
gonna work.
totally worked in Shanghai.
I know, but Charlie wasn't there.
Charlie wasn't there.
So sad.
I saw nothing. The robes, in my opinion, have never worked.
You see Ganymede's shoulders rise and fall as she takes a last deep breath. And I'm going to continue to move forward.
Are there any last things?
Charlie, as they're kind of like getting closer and closer to these sounds and everything, and it's feeling very much like imminent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Charlie just kind of reaches back behind him. Like, he doesn't turn all the way around, but he reaches back, like opening his hand to Irene.
Yeah, Irene will take it.
Yeah, he squeezes it like, tightly.
Zeb is just making sure that the lightning gun is like secure. Like it's probably like slung on his back or something like that at the moment. Yeah, just gonna start approaching slowly.
Great.
Do we see a light up
Oh,
ahead?
yes.
Okay. Then Zeb would probably motion for us to turn off our lights as we're approaching, or at least like shield them as we're approaching. That's sort of what he does.
From the main tunnel, wide steps lead another 100 feet down into a massive chamber. As befits the Black Pharaoh, only a few torches light the way and illuminate the vast court within, reflecting everywhere from the gleaming black marble walls. The floor of black marble is flecked with white, shiny and slick. This chamber, maybe 400 feet across, 500 long, with ceilings you can't make out in all this darkness. It's so high. There are dark pillars supporting the ceiling that you cannot see. Charlie, you've been here before. You pass the stairs leading somewhere lower that disappear down into a hideous glowing ruby mist that pours up from below. As you're close, you can make out hideous, ghastly shrieks and moans from there, but the rest of the noise is drowning it out. I'm gonna take you over so you can see everything.
Those are lots of statues, right?
Those are people. There seem to be 200 or more
Those just statues, right?
in the chamber.
they're just statues, right?
There is a large pit in the middle of the cavern that moves. Give me some spot hiddens. Regular success for Irene, hard for Charlie, failure for Ganny, and regular for Zed. Charlie. Though you don't recognize him, or at least one of them, around this pit, this pool of water, held aloft, tied to these kind of, tied with rope, almost like they're the lure on a fishing rod. A man with a very of the period mustache, slicked hair, on the corner closest to you, on the one farther away. A man you do recognize that you met recently, James Gardner, and they are kind of held over this pool of water with that ripples constantly. You also see, though clad in white robes, the figures of Henry Clive and Martin Winfield. And there are other figures within this chamber. They look human, but their heads are that of animals. A vulture, a jackal, a cat, a crocodile. Far ahead, all of you can make out. I imagine the camera starts on you all and keeps pulling back as you see all of this. An altar of white marble, 25 feet square at the top, steps leading up to it, these stone braziers flanking it. Behind it, a throne, a vile green sweating stone with 2 seats. Behind it, this kind of processional bridge leads up and perhaps to another entrance. And you see the hole behind the throne, that gaping, dark maw. Upon the altar, a figure wrapped in white material, a mummy. Before it, Omar al-Shakti, standing next to Agatha Broadmoor, who is on her knees with her eyes rolled into the back of her head. And behind them, chained, shackled to the altar, is Zara Shafiq, wearing the girdle, necklace, and crown of Nitocris. And that's where we're going to end the session. Well. Almost. We're going to cut away from this moment. This great, great moment. To another chamber. The cows. The woman who called herself Hypatia Masters has collapsed on the ground, holding her head as if in great pain.
Yeah, I rush over to her, and kind of like kneel down. I'm like putting my hand on her back. Are you okay?
It's like I have two sets of memories trying to assert themselves. I have been here before. We came here. Me, Roger, Sir Aubrey, Dr. Houston. We did the ritual at the Red Pyramid. We broke the seal. I don't think I understood. We were going to see the real Egypt. Gain powers or something. And Mweru said she'd see me when we came back and we'd be together. I remember. That's what she said. She said I'd be free, that he would free me from the shame I felt and free me of the fear. And she puts her hand to her very flat belly.
Oh, why should you have any reason to feel shame?
Oh, I'm damned, you see. Roger and I were intimate long ago. He didn't want a baby, and my family couldn't take the scandal, so I went to see someone to take care of it. That was long ago. And she said that he could give me another chance for a child, and I would come to love him and the child, that we'd be closer than any other mother and child. But over the course of the trip, Mweru and I wasn't sure I wanted another man. But she wouldn't betray his trust. She said he always keeps his promises. And he would give me my desire, but that it was changing. But we came here and we went to the real Egypt, and I agreed to... It was the only way to see her again. And when we came out, I went with Mweru. I went with her to the mountain in Kenya. And I was monstrous. You know, I can see myself. I know I did it. I know I was there. I know it was real. I was in so much pain. Birthing that child was going to kill me. It was like it was absorbing me from the inside out. But something changed. I have memories now of it not being me there in the bedchamber. I was left behind. He took someone else. And I was there, I don't know how long, but I saw the opening. I recognized this chamber, and but these both can't be true. They can't both be true.
Ava is kind of just like listening to this, and does Ava have any memories of her father?
Mm-hmm.
Like her memories have changed, right?
As you start to kind of assess that, make a sanity check.
Yeah, I'd love to. I cannot be the same. Oh,
Great.
kind of low.
Yeah. 3. As you start to see what Irene has now seen. He didn't die. He came with you beneath the city in Australia, spoke with Kakakatak, left with you. But that doesn't make sense. You can see him dying in front of you, but now these other things are here. Someone else. She's muttering to herself, someone else. Someone else.
It was changed somehow.
He always keeps his promises. Someone else.
Ava has been kind of like kneeling down next to her and stands up and offers down her hand to Hypatia.
She'll take it.
Yeah, I'll help her up. We should go. Things are different, but things are different for me too. I went through the portal to save my father from dying. But I can only remember up to now. I mean, I can only remember up to being in this chamber and going through the portal, and I remember where I left him, but I don't know where he is now. And things are different for you, but you only have the memories that you have. And you can only remember the things that you've seen yourself. So we should go because things are still different. And we can figure out what they look like now.
I need to find her.
Well, then we will. Someone must have an answer for you. And maybe they'll know what changed. How it changed. But someone has to make them change. It can't happen by itself. I made things change for me. So someone knows. Someone did something.
Yes.
You can't let it. Things are different now. You can't let the way that you remember things, it's not how they happened anymore.
Someone took my place.
If someone took your place, then it wasn't you that those things happened to, and even though you can remember it, it didn't happen like that. Do you know who took your place? Do you know?
She was screaming for someone.
Do you remember?
He called her. And that's where we're going to end the session. Oh, pew, 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 pew.
Lauren.
All right, let's go around to everybody. Check in how they're doing. I hope everyone liked that map. That we're going to see more than 2 weeks when we'll be back to finish up Egypt once and for all. Yeah, we're going to be off next week, but we'll be back the week after. Yes, her name is, that's where we're going to end this session. That's her name. Let's start with Tommy. Tommy. Let me get this creepy music out of here. Get out of here, creepy music.
2 cliffhangers in 1 session. That's a new record.
It's pretty good.
Boy. We're fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. We're gonna be fine. We've got this totally under control, he said with massive amounts of copium. And hopium. We're gonna be fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's
No
super
doubts.
chill.
Hi, I'm Tommy. I'm Imperative Penguin Sphere. I do tabletop RPG stuff and some video editing stuff. I currently have commissions open. If you are interested in my services, check out my postie on my Twitter feed. It has more details for you and how to request a commission.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm so excited. How much luck you got? 35?
20. A lot of luck.
Lot of
so
luck.
much luck.
So much
Free
luck.
resource. Free resource.
Yeah, let's go over to somebody with an incredible amount of HP. Summer.
Hi, it's me. I have half my HP. And everything will be fine in this room.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make sure that it's okay. You can save all the NPCs.
Yeah. All
You
of them.
can. All of them every time. You can.
Yeah.
We've only lost 1 to date, so nearly a perfect record.
Incorrect on so many levels. Just Jackson.
2 if you count Jackson. No, we lost Lee too, but that's only 2 people. That's fine. Jackson, there's nothing we could do to save that man. I don't take any responsibility in his death whatsoever.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you could save Jackson? Oh, well, I guess. Okay.
Well, campaigns. Jackson's like, let me tell you guys.
Let me tell you everything.
Yo, I got some shit. Okay. Wow, that would be a very different campaign. Hi, I'm Summer. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. You can find me on Twitch at It's Just a Summer Job. That's where I stream most days of the week, playing a lot of GTA roleplay. And and maybe some Red Dead Redemption 2 roleplay shortly, soon, TM. Yeah, you can find me here every Saturday. You can find me on Dylan's channel at Narcissus every Monday, and sometimes back over there on Saturday nights playing some other games. But otherwise, yeah, just follow me on Twitter to figure out what's going on. So fun. So many mysteries, so many cliffhangers. I want to know who. I want to know who took her place. Who took Hypatia's place?
I'm just real excited to
Hypatia.
tell y'all eventually.
I need to know now. I want to know soon, right now. Why don't you just tell us right now?
I can't.
Okay. That's all. Thank you guys. What a fun session.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's go over to Allison.
I mean, I'm just excited that Hypatia and Moeru found their way to each other in the middle of all of this. It's
The
like
gays.
massive Nyarlathotep, now 500 times more gay. And I love everything about it. That's beautiful. I have never wanted to run away from a battle so bad in my life.
It's pretty hairy in there.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting in a couple of weeks to see how this all plays out. I cannot wait. This has been so epic. So epic. I'll be back here in 2 weeks. I can't wait to do this again, y'all. Thanks everyone who subbed and tipped and all of that. Mwah. You are our lifeline in a deep, dark tomb of death. So
Yes.
Thank you. We'll see y'all soon.
Kienna.
Well, good news. Summer and I finally resolved the 87 episode slow burn that we have planned since the very beginning of this campaign. Literally, we made these characters and we went, what if they fell in love with each other? And then waited 87 episodes to do anything about it.
Wow.
So, good news that. Bad news, everything else that happened at the end there. I don't know what we're gonna do. There were a lot of people in Shanghai. This is somehow more, and I don't like that. So yeah, we will problem solve in 2 weeks, I guess.
I guess so.
Or run away.
Or
I
run
want to just
away.
remind us that
running
runaway
away
is an option.
is problem solving sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta know when the problem's too big for you and just go. But until then, you can find me over on Twitter at Kienna S. Best way to figure out what I'm doing. I am the reason we are off next week because I am moving.
Boo. Boo.
So I will be mostly offline, but please send me your good vibes. And also check out my games if you want to help financially support me as I move, because moving is expensive. There's a lot of stuff that requires money. So go check that out, please. But yeah, we'll be back here in a couple weeks. What about you, Lauren?
Hey, I'm really proud of myself. I'm really feeling my energy right now. I'm completely prepped for this already. I'm super prepped. So I'm gonna kick back. I'm gonna kick back these last 2 weeks. And just vibe until we're ready to do this. There are so many things going on in this room. They're all bad. And this room is huge. And there's only limited time to achieve your goals. It's very exciting. It's my ideal scenario for me as the keeper. It's great. Yeah. Thank you to our sponsors, Dice Envy, Grinding Coffee Co., and Roll20. You can catch up on YouTube if you ever miss an episode. Follow us on Twitter if you need announcements. We're gonna go rate a friend. Wait, bye everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.